What can you do if you mistake a butch, a female identifying one, for a guy? I had a subscriber comment on a previous video of mine asking that question. They were curious about if I were to mistake somebody for a guy that actually identifies as a woman, what do I do? So I have a few tips that you all can use in situations like this. Number one, I would say try not to assume pronouns until you're absolutely certain. So that means if you're addressing someone or you're talking about someone and you use she or her, or in the case for me, if someone were to assume he or him and they're wrong, I would say try not to assume and try not to use the pronouns in the case of someone you don't know very well and you haven't talked to first about it. I know this is especially difficult in certain parts of the country where people sir and ma'am a lot. From my understanding, it's more out of a sign of respect and you want to be polite to people, especially if you work in like customer service or if it's an elder or somebody that you just want to be respectful toward, you use sir or ma'am. The thing with that is, though, if it comes out of a place of respect and being polite and you're wrong, you've kind of totally erased the reason why you're using the word to begin with. So if someone were to sir me, and the reason why they were using sir was to be respectful towards me and to show that they're being polite, I wouldn't see it that way because I'd be like, you're wrong, and that's uncomfortable, and I don't like it when people use sir. My advice is to, if there's somebody that you see that's kind of androgynous or someone that's more on the masculine side and looks, but you think that maybe they're a woman and you're not sure, just cut off the ma'am or sir off the end of your sentence. You can still say, have a great day, thank you so much for coming in, if you work in customer service or whatever the situation may be. You can still be very polite and respectful, but I think just cutting off that end word when you're not sure is a smart move. Number two, if you forget, which we're all gonna do. I've made mistakes, even presenting the way I do. I've made mistakes with other people around me that present the same way, and I forget, and we've all made mistakes. I would say, in that case, to just apologize. I don't think there's anything wrong with admitting that you made a mistake and that you would like to tell the person that you made a mistake and that you'll try not to do it again. When I get sirred and people realize that they're wrong, or I correct them, a lot of the times I'll be like, actually, it's ma'am. People will look horrified and I'm assuming feel pretty embarrassed that they made a mistake, and instead of like talking to me about it, they'll just like run away. I would say sticking around, first of all, don't run away, and second of all, just apologizing. Just say, wow, I'm having an off day. I'm sorry about that. And start using the correct pronouns from there forward. That might be a little bit scary for some people to admit that you made a mistake and that you used the wrong pronouns or sirred someone who would prefer ma'am. But in the end, I think it's just a nice thing to do. For me specifically, I can recall one time that someone apologized. I was in a cafe and a guy behind me actually bumped me as we were waiting to order, and he said, "Excuse me, sir." And it was one of those days I kind of was out of it. I wasn't feeling very well, and I turned around. I kind of like looked at him and just kept doing my own thing. And later, after I got my sandwich and had sat down, he came up to me and he said, "Wow, I'm so sorry." And that stuck with me. Since then, no one else has apologized to me. Before then, I hadn't really gotten anybody apologize or correct themselves. But that was the one guy that actually did, and it stuck with me, and I wasn't upset that he apologized. I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. Most people I know would probably really appreciate it if somebody caught themselves and apologized. So yeah. Apologize. Just say, wow, I messed up. Sorry about that. Tip number 3, I would say if you meet somebody and you think maybe you're going to run into them again, you have mutual friends, something like that, and you're not sure what pronouns they prefer, you're not sure to sir or ma'am them if you really insist on using those words, ask a mutual friend. If you happen to run into that person again before you are able to talk to a friend, a lot of people actually don't mind if you clarify with them themselves. Just say, hey, I was just curious what kind of pronouns you prefer. I know that it's really uncomfortable for some people to do that. They're like, wow, why do I have to like ask this? But you know what? It's actually showing that you really care and you really want to show this person that you are paying attention and you don't want to address them the wrong way, because this is their identity, this is who they are. You're trying to make this other person comfortable, especially if you want to be friends with them. You don't want to keep addressing them, you know, as with male pronouns if that's not their thing at all. Chances are, if you keep making the same mistake, you're not going to be friends for very long. I have never been angry at anyone who has asked me what I preferred, and I don't think I've run into any of my friends or anybody else that I've known who's been upset with somebody who's asked them. It's actually really refreshing for somebody who had the courage to ask. Those are my tips about what to do. If the rest of you have any tips for me, for anybody else watching this video and looking at comments, please post them below. If you have any video suggestions for me and would like me to make one on a certain topic, post it below. And if you would like to watch more of my videos, you can subscribe right over here and you will get to see all the rest of my videos coming up. See you, YouTube.